I never drink wine. Um, Welcome to my review of Dracula, starring Bela Lugosi, 1931 film. This is the 75th anniversary DVD, and it's a 2-disc collection. First disc has the film with commentary, 2 different commentaries, and some special features. And disc 2 actually has the Spanish version of Dracula. And I decided to watch it as well, which I'll review. But pretty much, Universal wanted to introduce all these stories about these monsters, and this was the first one that pretty much kickstarted all the other ones. This pretty much big franchise of monsters, and I pretty much like Nosferatu. This is a classic. It wasn't lost like Nosferatu, like for so many years, and it became a cult. It became loved, pretty much when it came out. And one of the reasons why, because Bela Lugosi, pretty much is the reason why. That is the reason why his film works so well. Not to take away from the other actors, especially the actor who played Van Helsing, Dr. Van Helsing. He was really good in the movie too. He's the other actor who carries the film. But pretty much, just like Nosferatu, it, there's a character this time. This is, I'm trying to correct myself so many times, but this, pretty much was a more, like, I guess, proper adaptation, because you actually have the name of the characters from the novel, and finally, a studio was actually had the rights, so they could do more. They could do the novel more justice, so to speak. But pretty much, the movie starts off with the character Renfield. Pretty much like in Nosferatu, the villagers warn him about a vampire. He says, superstition. I have to make a deal with Count Dracula. He meets Dracula, and that's where you get the scene, that Children of the Night. What music they make. And there's also scenes, just like in Nosferatu, where he cuts his finger, and Dracula's very tempted and drinking his blood. But the difference is, he has a cross, Renfield, because one of the villagers gives him a cross to protect himself, even though he doesn't believe in vampires. But he decided, okay, whatever. And Dracula sees the cross, and he freaks out. Pretty much, the Holy Cross is one of his weaknesses. And I love the way Bela Lugosi plays Dracula in the movie, especially the scene with the paper cut. He sees, he's bleeding. He has, the, how do I say, evil eyes. It's like there's always close up with his eyes, and throughout the movie. And he goes closer to him, and then he sees he's wearing a cross, and he freaks out. He's like, ah. And then Renfield, kind of naive, says, "Don't worry, it's just a paper cut." He thinks he's freaked out by the blood. Well, that's quite the opposite, Renfield. But I don't want to really go into that much detail about the movie. I mean, pretty much, um, Dracula um, makes Renfield his slave. He makes him ship. He makes him. He convinces him into taking him back to England because Dracula's ready to, fucking just drink every person's blood he sees. So he finally goes to England. He lives in Transylvania, like everyone knows. Goes to England. From pretty much kills all the other crew members in the boat he was being shipped to. It makes the papers. The police pretty much don't know. They don't know what killed these guys. But Dracula's downtown, and I like the scene where he just randomly just kills this woman in the streets. He kind of like puts a spell on her with his killer eyes, that, and he just you don't see it. You hear a scream, and then all of a sudden, it cuts to him walking, and then people are freaking out because they discover her body. And then out of the way Bela Lugosi plays it, he's kind of like just walking, like kind of like he's thinking. I'm pretty sure he's thinking in his head, "Yep, that was me. I killed her, like a pimp." And he goes to the opera and he meets some of the other main characters, like he meets Mina and Lucy, and he gets the attention of Lucy. She kind of has a crush on him because the difference between Max Schreck and Bela Lugosi. Max Schreck pretty much played it like he's a weird looking, creepy guy, pretty much, and Bela Lugosi plays more charming, and he comes up like a good guy to the people he meets, and that's when then he attacks. Um, you get the scene where Lucy is in her bedroom sleeping, and then Dracula comes in, morphs into a bat, and then he gets in her room and pretty much kills her. Which I always found one thing I find weird about that scene. I know it's in 1931, but like, she just leaves the window open, so anyone can just climb in. But whatever. He kills Lucy. Again, people don't know what's going on. The police really kind of scratching their heads, and then they get Dr. Van Helsing to get some help from him, and he pretty much comes to the conclusion it's some sort of creature, some sort of thing that's not many people know about, but he knows probably, and he pretty much knows that it's a vampire. He just know who could be the vampire. And the actor who played Van Helsing was really, really good. I really love the scenes where he has with Dracula, Bela Lugosi. I love the part where he's talking with Jonathan, Mina's fiance, and Jonathan is Mina's fiance, and Mina's father. They're talking about who could possibly done all this stuff. Are vampires real? Are they not? They're having that debate, and then I forgot which kid. I think it was either the father or Jonathan who says, "Who could have done this?" And then you hear the maid say, "Count Dracula," and then turn around and she meant Count Dracula is in the house. But I love the way they timed it. As in, like, it's pretty much Count Dracula. I mean, once he came to town, everything started going like crazy. People started dying out of nowhere, being bitten in the neck. And then they talk, and then he meets Van Helsing, and I'm pretty sure that's the scene where the mirror scene where Van Helsing sees that Dracula has no reflection, and he knows he's the vampire because vampires have no reflection in the mirror. And then he's talking to Mina. Dracula's talking to Mina. By that point, I think she was bitten already. So she's kind of acting a little weird. And then he's talking to her, and that's where Van Helsing sees the Mina's by herself in the mirror, even though she's talking to Dracula. Dracula has no reflection, and he pretty much tricks Dracula. It's like I guess like a cigar case or something like that. With the mirror, he closes it. Says, Count, can you open this? I need to make sure about something. I need to base it on your reaction. Dracula opens it, and he closes it and just throws it to the ground. And then that pretty much gives him away to Van Helsing. And then Dracula says, I apologize. I don't like mirrors. And he just leaves. And then, the other great scene with Van Helsing and Dracula. The cross scene where Dracula tries to put a spell on Van Helsing, saying, "You will do as I command you." And of course, Van Helsing is stronger than that. He's not falling for it. And then Dracula's ready to attack, and then Van Helsing pulls out the cross, and then he goes, I know, like, Bela Lugosi's acting is weird to some people, but I thought he was the fucking man in this movie. He was great at Dracula. Great villain. And creepy at times as well. With every time he has that dead stare, that scary, I'm gonna fuck you up look in his face. And then, pretty much, they all find out that he's the vampire who was killing all these people by Renfield. He pretty much spilled the beans. Even though he's kind of like fucked in the head already, freaking people out, eating bugs and shit like that. And then he accidentally leads the main characters to Dracula's castle, where he takes Mina and tries to convert her into a vampire. And then Dracula kills Renfield. And then the other characters, Van Helsing and Jonathan, save Mina. And Van Helsing pretty much kills Dracula. Even though there's like many other Dracula movies after this. But I kind of felt like the ending, when he kills him, felt a little anticlimactic. But I guess that's how old films used to be, I mean, I guess I'm so used to newer movies where it's like more big and epic, whatever. But it still works. I mean, evil dies, and good guys win, pretty much. So it's a happy ending. So I can't complain too much. But like I said, I really like this movie. It's not as scary as Nosferatu, but it is. I like it. It's more entertaining. I like Bela Lugosi as Dracula. The actor who played Van Helsing was really good as well. The other actors, they do fine. Um, it's just Bela Lugosi and the actor who played um, Van Helsing. Those were the two best actors in the movie. And I always thought, not always thought, but because this is only the second time I've seen it. I saw it like years ago. I liked it back then. I like it a little bit more now. Um, should I say I appreciate it more now. Now that I've seen it again, but I always find it interesting. I still find it interesting that there's really no music to. Like there's no music at all during the movie. Just the opening credits, which is I think it's the song from Black Swan. I think I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, there's no music throughout the movie, so uh, that was pretty interesting. I would have preferred music, but that's fine. Whatever. Um, it is kind of awkward when there's a music and you hear the crackling. It's an old film, so it's gonna look like that. It's gonna sound like that too. But and I'll say I can't really criticize too much of this, but I can't really criticize too much. But the whole bat puppetry. Well, it's 1931, so I can't, like I said, I can't complain too much. But it did look kind of funny. Every time that had, there was the bat puppet, I laughed, especially the scene where Jonathan and Mina, it's just Jonathan and Mina talking, and she's acting all weird, and it looks like she's gonna bite him. Just a bat shows up, and it looks funny. He's like, get out of here. But I don't know. I like the characters, except for maybe Jonathan, because he seemed kind of dumb to me. This, like I mentioned, the scene with him and Mina talking, he tries to get the bat away, and then it looks like Mina's about to bite him, and then Van Helsing is there, and then he has the cross, and she freaks out, and he's like, "What are you trying to do, scare her?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, he's not trying to scare her. He didn't do anything." But yeah, I mean, besides those little problems I mentioned, I think it's a good film, well acted. Um, I like the kind of eeriness to it. It has an eerie tone to it, I think. And it's a short film. It's like only like 75 minutes, so it has a really good pace. Um, you know what? I have to give more credit to the actor who played Renfield, because he's also really good too. So those three actors, Bela Lugosi and the actors who played Van Helsing and Renfield, those performances especially were really good. The rest were decent, but not as good as these guys. But yeah, I'm kind of repeating myself now. But yeah, I mean, this is again just like Nosferatu. It deserves to be called a classic, and it's pretty much for it's not, it's an old movie, but I still think it holds up. Maybe if a person, I would say, if a fan, I would say horror fan, has never seen any old horror films, they probably won't like it. But I still think they should watch it anyway. I mean, come on, you need to watch the older horror films to appreciate the genre more. I mean, these are the reason why we have some of the other horror films that we love as kids. Freddy, Jason, Mike Myers, those horror icons. Dracula was the first big one. Yeah, pretty much in Hollywood, I should say. First big horror icon in the genre of horror. I just said like horror 3 times, but so yeah, again, that's it. I mean, I have nothing else to say that hasn't already been said like a billion times already. But yeah, I like Dracula. I like Nosferatu and Bela Lugosi's Dracula, really good. So I'm going to review the Spanish version of this movie, which I'm gonna do something a little bit different for that review, but I think you guys might like it. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching, and adios.